Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4. So we're continuing off from our Communist China playthrough. So we have begun the war with Tibet, where we should hopefully just be able to sweep through and easily crush them. There we go, right on cue. So there we go, we're going to keep producing some more units because obviously the next big war is now against China. So here we go, Communist Uprising is about to launch. I've only got a couple states, so we'll just destroy a little bit of industry, but you know, hopefully that does affect them. And then we're going to go for an immediate push, hopefully trying to just crush a few of their divisions, especially just take out any weak points in their line. Yeah, we do have an army now that should rival the Chinese army, so we got some very early pushes. Let's just see if we can maybe snake around for some of these supply hubs, maybe try and cut them in half, do what we can. Here we go, we'll head down this way for a bit more stability. Okay, can we kick them out here? Also just cutting some of these railways would be great, some of these northern railways, because then we could just have a bit more control over the supply situation, and just mean that they're in a much lower supply area. Okay, so we're going to try and just push through a bunch of units to Tianjin, to just try and cut them off. Okay, meanwhile down here we're having a little bit of success in the mountains, but it does look a little bit tough. Now obviously we do have the Soviets as an ally, as we got them in the towards the end of the last one, while we were attacking Indochina. So we could always call them into this battle, but I just think we're going to leave that, but it will actually occupy some of the nationalist Chinese and maybe some of the warlord forces up there as they try and hold that ground just in case the Soviets are about to come in. Got a little bit of deficit of weapons there, so we cancelled the new troops that we had come in. I think we're just going to have to work with these four key armies probably, and hopefully try and get some good and hopefully try and win with these armies. Now they have all been trained up, so we have a lot of regulars / veterans. So hopefully that should help us win. Going to change the cohesion here because our guys are kind of throwing themselves around all over, and I do want them to try and hold our lines a bit better, because with all this movement sometimes it can leave gaps in your front line, especially when you've got an enemy with such a large amount of troops. They can easily exploit that, use that to run through the lines. Okay, so is there anywhere we can make pockets maybe? That's sort of what I'm looking for, because we want to try and take out their front line obviously, and just, you know, if we can get, you know, 3-4 divisions in encirclement, that will just start to thin out their line those little bit more. As you can see at the moment they got about three men across the line. Okay, so we're going to push here towards Tianjin, hopefully try and take the supply hub on the way. Keep it in combat. Oh, they're actually ended up double combating themselves a little bit, maybe that will help. If not, these 9 troops, maybe we just push straight past and try and head straight for it. There we go, we've got that supply hub, so that should really help our supply in that region too, and obviously shifts the supply away from them. So that's what a lot of the fighting comes down to at the moment in Hoi 4. It's a balance of supply. Sometimes to a lot of streamers' frustrations, watching Tommy K, he gets very annoyed about the supply situation, but you know, that was ultimately the name of the game during the World Wars. It's all about supply at the end of the day. If you can't supply your troops, how can you expect your army to fight? Okay, let's try and pin these people in place, and there we go, a nice little 4 units that we can just try and crush, as well as those units to our left, maybe like 14 units there in total that have been circled, which is quite a nice number, and they're in sort of low supply regions, so we'll let them starve out for a little bit and then we'll go back and crush them later. Okay, so as you can see the supply lines are repaired there, so now we do have supply coming into that region. We'll just secure the peninsula. Mostly just because I think that might give us some better core in the peace deal for taking this land. Obviously that's a little bit presumptuous, but we'll do what we can. Okay, so we've got these guys snaking through Xianin, seeing if we can cut off the supply lines, and also taking a nice supply hub away from the enemies. Oh, they're starting to push in from all sides. Can we pull a guy back? Maybe try and pull a guy back into these regions. Okay, no, they've been cut off. Okay, push into Jianin. Maybe if we hold this supply hub, we might have enough local supply to keep our troops just going for a moment. Try and evade that encirclement penalty, but no, it does look like they're going to push us out of there. Maybe we can get some guys in. No, it looks like that line is holding, so it does look like we will probably lose those troops down there. Yeah, there you go, Jianin's fallen, so now there'll just be no supply on these troops. So they will just inevitably die, I think, at this point. That's not great, because we don't exactly have the equipment to replace them at the moment, but we'll just have to deal with that. That was a dumb move to try and snake that hard, maybe, especially this early in the war. Okay, so anyway, let's come down, free up our troops off this front line. We can kill 6 more of their troops down here in this encircled territory, so we'll just start hitting them. They'll slowly run out of supply, equipment. You can see their organisations going down. And then especially once we take this tile, we should get that full encirclement penalty on those last 4 divisions. There we go. There we go, and there they go. Just slowly getting crushed out. Lovely. And now those units are all freed up to come back to the front line, and you can see they now have sort of 2 divisions per tile down in this region because they've just lost, I think overall that circlement they lost like 12 to 14 divisions. Okay, they have managed a little snake up north. Doesn't seem like my border was expanding with when they were coming up against the Mongolian border, but we'll try and pull our troops back to that, especially now that we can try and hold them in some of these low supply regions, like because they would be in the desert. I don't know if this is like the south of the Gobi Desert, because I think the Gobi Desert is the one that's in Mongolia, or I don't know if it has a different name in North China, or if it's all part of the same thing, but either way it's a really terrible supply region to be fighting in. And obviously we did catch the Japanese there a couple times when we had our war against them. That is the tough part about this. You basically have to fight the same war twice, because the peace deal never fired or anything like that, or the land didn't flip to us. So we have had to fight this again, and obviously there still is the threat that the Japanese might suddenly come back in and fight us. Okay, let's try and pin some of these units into this low supply region. See if maybe a couple units can snake through just to completely cut them off and stop them escaping. There we go, made it, and we've reinforced, that's great. So there we go, like another 6 divisions just there, all cut off in low supply, and we'll just move in to crush them as quickly as possible just so they don't have any chance of getting liberated. Okay, there we go. Last few. And a little bit of an overrun there. Wasn't needed, but there we go. Okay, so they are starting to counterattack, but you can see their supply is actually low now where they're away from their supply zones, because we hold that supply hub. So we're going to try, while they're a little bit weak, you can see their orange bars have gone down because they've wasted a lot of manpower attacking us. For the last couple of months in game, they were just attacking our line, which is why we've lost a bit of land, but we're holding. So now we're going to try and make our push out. Maybe a little bit risky again, sending off so many units in one go, but we'll try and keep guys in covering, try and keep widening out this pocket as we go. Ah, there we go, they've been cut off again. Come on, can we get these guys out at least? Okay, we're not taking Tianjin, so we're going to stop attacking. We lost 1 there. Okay, we're going to try and snake a guy to Beijing. Okay, we lost 2 divisions there, but we now have a much better foothold for pushing into some of their supply regions and pushing into this northern region of China. Oh, I think he might have just been strength to lead that unit, so that's quite handy. There we go, let's just take the other side of the river from Beijing. Now we've immediately been pushed out, but maybe we can counter-attack it. Counter-attacks on, they're trying to pin us. We'll pin them on the side now. maybe we can get that airfield across the river, and then we can push for Beijing and Tianjin. They do seem to be holding us on this line. Yeah, that river crossing penalty I think is just a little bit too much at the moment. So let's keep trying to widen out this sort of area. Keep trying to push them out as much as possible. Maybe try and snake north if we can. Probably a bit ambitious again, but you know, if you're not ambitious you don't win. And then we'll just look for little points where we have multiple angles of attack, so we'll hit them from the front, support attack from both the sides, and we'll just try and squeeze them out a little bit, which will also give us, you see where there's like 2 divisions holding something, it will give us a better sort of line against them, so we don't have to spread our forces so thin. Just narrowing that front line down now, because I think on a unit versus unit basis I have a lot more power in my units to hold. Sure, claim on that piece of India. Not that I don't think we'll ever go and take India, because at the moment we're at the war with the Axis. But you know, you never know. You never know where a historical Hoi game will go, especially when it gets to the late game period like this. Okay, they're looking weak on that front by Beijing. Can we maybe push them again? Hit these from the side, maybe just try and loop round a little bit and get a sort of double combat in, or hit them from 2 sides. But it does look like they're holding quite strong. I wonder, are we able to do anything up here maybe? Maybe get these guys in support attacking as well. And then just pin them. Okay, that's great. Another 6 units. And we're taking back Yinshan, which... can't remember if that has a supply hub or not, but either way it just means we've got a little bit more of that railroad that connects us to Mongolia, so you know, it's always handy to have some railroads and some supply lines sort of running through from their capital. There we go, just take the last piece of that. Okay, this is a very tough front line now. It's quite stalemate. We are running low on units I think in certain regions, but we'll just keep trying to push out where we can, take these river lines, the more defensive positions. See, for example, there we've got 3 angles of attack on that one province, so if we can cut that down a little bit, we might only need to hold 1 to 2 provinces, so it just frees up a few more units to come and bolster some of these more difficult parts of our line. See if we can stay in there, hold that line. There we go, we managed to hold that, that's great. Okay, been a little bit longer, let's try this offensive again. See if we can take this railway as well, that will lead us to Tianjin. Push for Beijing. Nice, they attacked into us, so we get the counter-attack bonus where they've basically lost all of their org. Let's get that guy back in so we don't get encircled. Maybe we can push to Beijing from there as well. Brilliant. We'll get one of these guys to retreat into that, just widen that encirclement. See if we can get both railroads. There we go, we've got them. So now we have both the railroads north, and we've cut off their supply to the north. Now they'll have to go through the sea, but obviously where they're still at war with Japan, there's a chance that any convoys they send through the sea will be raided, so they will be significantly weaker. And then, as you can see there, we'll just continue to try and snake for more ports along this coastline now that we've made it to it, because the coast is probably one of the best places to be fighting in this game because of the amount of ports and how they give supply. But we'll continue trying to snake down from the south and continue trying to hopefully push up into that northern region and kick out any Chinese forces up there. But they have been cut off from each other now, so that might mean we have a very weak flank that we might be exploiting somewhere. Okay, they did have a guy in Qingdao. That hasn't worked either time for me, either against the Japanese or the Chinese. Okay, let's see if we can maybe get the encirclement in Jinan. Would be a nice little supply hub to have as well, just over the Yellow River as well, so it would be a good little foothold. We'll pin that guy there, make sure that he can't continue or interrupt our plans in the encirclement. There we go, lovely. And now we'll try and cut off Qingdao as well, just so that should be on its own, and we'll snake for this back port and see if anything's holding there. No, nothing was holding it, so that's a free port, and now we've got this nice thick dividing line between the two regions here. Okay, so we'll set up 2 new front lines. I think it might be looking not too bad. Let's see if we can quickly crush Qingdao as we do. Lovely. Kill that unit that was in there. And there we go, the army is pretty nicely freed up. We're now going to proclaim the People's Republic, because the next focus after that, I think you need above 49 factories. And from all this recent conquest, we've now got 55, so we have what we need for it. But yeah, we're going to quickly do our planning speed, get some good planning, and then we're going to try a general advance across the line, and potentially this could be a big crushing blow. So let's continue to push for supply hubs. Maybe just snake round them here, grab these ports up along this coastline. I mean, if we can get down to Dalian, why wouldn't we? And you can see all those Chinese forces still holding that Mongolian-Soviet border, waiting for them to be called into the war. It's always one of the best things you can do with allies, is to hold that gap. Well, sort of force that gap with the enemy, where you have allies on their flanks, so then they are having to waste a few forces. Now, they won't send ridiculous amounts always, but they would like to cover the line, so against an enemy like China, now we snake around their other units and we just severely weaken them. And look, you can see down here the gaps in the line that are forming as we push around them. Oh, and can we take Nanjing so we can take their capital away? That would be nice. Just see if we can push those few units in that region down there. And I think it's open, there we go. Lovely. Nice open tile. And we'll quickly clean up this level 1 tile, just so loads of divisions don't get assigned to it and they can get straight back on the front line. Shove some more on guns, rifles, artillery, support equipment. Continue down tanks. I don't actually think we're going to get tanks in the end, but you know, let's keep our research going just in case we do need them. Planes we might end up getting, because we might go help the Soviets if we get time to go fight off the Germans, because it's 1944 and it still does look a little bit stagnated over there from what I saw last time I panned over. Okay, so this is what starts to happen when you create 2 different front lines. So it looks like these troops, they've been told not to go into the sea, but they want to reinforce the other front line up north. So they have just decided to do, well, I guess similar to Mao, like a long march through China in hopes that they can take some territory. So let's just try and pin them there, get these guys in to get the full encirclement and penalty. And it's just a nice few units gone, so they probably will start to snake at points from the north and south as they try and consolidate their front lines. And then it's our job to just make sure that they get cut off and don't make it to that front line. Although sometimes it can be hard to catch, especially for example if they have any cav, any mechanised units that will move faster than me. But obviously I think you move faster in your own territory than moving into an opponent's territory. So, and there we go, we're now the People's Republic of China under Mao. And let's go for the socialist market economy just to get rid of a few more debuffs. Yeah, war propaganda, because our war support is very, very low, and hopefully we can get that up a little bit more. Where's China on here? Oh, they're not even halfway to capitulating, even with all the land we've taken. So maybe this Shanghai region will give us a lot of points as well, so we'll try our best to push in, stake in, and just try and take some more of these VPs away. Although I imagine we'll have to go towards Chongqing. That's normally where you have to fight China to, but obviously we have a bit more of a flat front against them, so we might actually take that a lot earlier in the war. Okay, so these guys are now starting to get, we're starting to get some very weak troops up here, I think, where they're struggling to reinforce them. So we're gonna just try and cut through for their supply hubs. I mean, it's this battle for Manchuria again. Just a different force this time. Obviously last time I think we'd crushed a lot more of the Japanese forces, so it was a lot more of an open run, but China does like to cling on a bit more, and where this is all counted as core territory, I think they do get quite a few buffs, the same way we do for our focus tree for core defense and a bit of core attack, so that's what makes this a lot more of a grind fest at times, is that extra sort of, the extra buffs that each of us have fighting each other. Oh, they just managed to pin me and reinforce in time. Okay. Now let's go for the Shanghai area properly, because they are weak here. You can see their org is so low because they've just been attacking me all across the front. So we're just going to try the exact same and push straight at them. There we go, taking Shanghai, taking the ports away, crushed a couple of units. Another encircled unit, just every little encirclement counts. They're attacking out of the port. Can we now maybe counter-attack it? There you go, you can see their capitulation has gone up by a little bit. Okay. There we go. I think they walked out of the port, and then the last division started retreating out because he'd been battered a little bit. And now we snake for this coast. As you can see, I think as well they're moving away for this Japanese invasion, trying to defend from that. And at the same time, you can see up here in the north, they started snaking again towards that front line. I'm assuming that's snaking down to try and reinforce some of their cities down there, hold them from the Japanese. I mean, look how far this guy's snaked down. Should we get a plane up and running? Oh, actually we have... we have no air XP, so we can't actually get a plane up and running. So we just need to shove more into rifles, more into artillery. Let's make sure that we're keeping up with the steel, so let's get some from Sweden, get some from the Soviet Union. That's probably close enough. Just stops those major debuffs from kicking into building equipment, because we just constantly need more equipment. The beauty is we don't have to garrison this land because it's all core, so we're not actually wasting any equipment on that. It just is the raw firepower that we need in our army and the amount of just troops, lives and guns we're losing. But obviously every time we take a city, you can see up there our manpower. I think we started on 1.8 or something like that, and we're already up to 8.7 million, so every time we take a city we gain more manpower, so maybe keep a watch as we take Mukden. I think we should gain a little bonus more. Well, if we take Mukden. Come on. Let's get across the river maybe, that might help. Oh, there's such clusters of troops down here. If we cut these off, that would be great, but I think just the amount of them holds quite well, although the Japanese have just made a little encirclement for us there at Ningbo, if we can cut them off fully. There you go, you can see the damage to China. They're probably like 75% capitulated, so hopefully shouldn't be too many more cities once we take some of this northern stuff. Okay, push everyone at Mukden. So close to breaking. There we go. There you go, and we got another like 250,000 manpower from taking Mukden. So yeah, fighting in China is just such a manpower game. You get so much manpower all the time. We'll take some more equipment from the Allies because they're not even in the China war, so they won't be stealing any of our war score away. They will against Japan, but I think at the moment, once we take out China, we should be massively up top for Japanese war score because of the amount we killed in the early parts of the war, and obviously we've got this other naval invasion we still got to kick out down south here once we can finish the Chinese. Come on, let's kick them out. Lovely. And then can we take the port just to give ourselves a bit more of that supply? Although our guys aren't in too bad supply, I'm assuming they're still getting it from Hangzhou. But just taking this would be quite nice. Nice 3 divisions as well if we can keep them in the port and kill them in the port. Okay, let's continue to snake for little encirclements here. Just pin these guys in place where possible. Okay, yeah, keep them pinned. Don't fuss about killing them with those attacks, we just want them pinned in so then they won't move. And then that should be the end of the sort of Korean Peninsula and Manchuria, and hopefully the end of the war not too long from now. I think we just need a couple more victory points and then it should be all over. So yeah, let's keep trying to push into this land because this is all core territory. Actually, I don't know about Korea. I think Korea might count as core territory. But yeah, either way, let's keep pushing in up here at Manchuria because these Manchurian lands as well count as core. So let's draw all these fun front lines and we'll just tell our guys to push. Nice. Okay, just try and kick out a few of these units. Alright. And now down south, we're starting to push the Japanese back as well as the Chinese. I think we literally just need a handful more cities. Here's Chengde, and there we go, that's them done. So we'll take everything we can, which actually is looking like pretty much everything but a couple provinces. Although actually we've just got a bunch more war score up, so contest it. I mean, they shouldn't have more. They don't have more points than us, so we should just win this over the course of contesting it. And we are getting more score actually from some of the miners, I guess. And there we go. We won that war, and we get to take all of the Chinese land. And there's a little achievement down there with Mao as your leader. Win the Chinese Civil War, not the Spanish Civil War. Okay, can we take this last port away from the Japanese? Just really crush them out now. Come on, you've got 13 divisions attacking. And there we go, another achievement as well, made in China. So we have over 100 military factories. I'm assuming that's just, we got that because we're both building them, but also taking a couple of these provinces away at the end here. And there we go, People's Republic of China, fully there. We even have Indochina, we have Tibet. Yeah. Pretty big. Let's just... No, I'm not too fussed on the research side of things, but yeah. Huge. Okay. Yeah, and then it's just, can we defend against Japan? So let's set up a little port garrison along this coast. Japan is sort of the next big enemy, I guess. Make sure you get that 1 point at Qingdao. Many a time of high struggle because forces have landed in that port because it's hard to garrison. But yeah, so we'll set the guys there. We'll turn into exercises, get them all back up to level 3 because they would have lost some equipment, manpower, and they would have lost a few lives. And we'll pump out some more units which should hopefully just fill up these divisions. So let's space them out right. So we know the 30s have 90 now because they're garrison orders, so they get 3 times the amount of troops they can hold in a division. So let's just grab them out. Lovely, all balanced up. Okay. Nice, and they're all getting to their position on the coast. So Japan shouldn't be able to invade us again. Well, while we hold that garrison. And here's what I meant about the war. So actually Russia's losing by quite a bit, so we might need to send our guys over there instead of actually holding this port. We only need about 20 for that coast, so we'll get 20 more units on it. And here we go, the Chinese army has come all the way through Siberia. They've got to Stalingrad, they've pushed across the front line, and now we're going to do our best to try and encircle some of these German forces deep in Russia. We're just about to get into winter as well, so the weather's going to get a lot worse. Now we just have infantry, so it's really going to start to hinder and hurt, I think, the German tanks compared to our infantry, especially if we can keep pushing for these supply hubs. That would be huge. Okay, keep on working our way down. What's happening down the south? In the south, we actually have a Russian contingent holding Crimea, so we might be able to get a good little cut off on the German forces down in the south. Now we did get out another unit, but Japan did manage to get an invasion before they could garrison the coast, because I wanted to get my troops over to Russia as quick as possible. So these guys will just have a little time of it, battling back and forward with these Japanese forces, trying to take back these ports, take back these regions. And yeah, we'll just have to see how we can pull them out. Okay, can we link up with maybe the Soviets, maybe take Rostov, although there were a lot of German troops in there. Let's try and take this. I believe this town is the supply hub. Yes, it is. So just anything we can do to cut off some of this supply to the region, and just cut off any German troops down here. At this point in the war, the Germans have such a tough time replacing troops. So there we go. It's now been completely cut off from the main German offensive. So now we just need to cut off their port access, and then this whole region will be encircled. We'll maybe try and take the airport as well, so they can't really air supply in or keep airplanes up over the region, because that could be a pain for us. But we'll just continue trying to push that. The Japanese are coming back for another invasion. I mean, we've got the men, we've got the guns. I mean, look, we've got 16 million men currently that aren't in the army yet as well, amongst probably the other 1 million that are. So we're just going to throw out a few more divisions, hopefully get another 24 in, and they will hold that northern invasion. We'll just see if we can keep trying to push for some ports down here. Oh, okay, they've actually gone for Manchuria. I thought they were coming in on the other side of the coast actually, so that's not too bad. There we go, we've got these two encircled down there. Obviously they're all starting to suffer from supply penalties because we now have cut them off and taken their ports away. So now we just move in, we start crushing, we start killing them, and just making sure they don't make it back out. I mean, that's going to be like 10 to 15 units amongst the two pockets there that don't make it back. And all that equipment hopefully should go into our stockpiles when we cut them off. But yeah, so let's just continue. Can we continue to push along the north maybe? Okay, and there we go. We've actually been the ones to liberate Warsaw, I think there. Oh no, it's a Russian cavalry division managed to make it there before us. But now let's not let the Allies have the victory, let's try and snake our troops to Berlin. Can the Chinese army be the first into Berlin? Can they kick out a German tank division at Poznan as well? Poznan. Yes, they can. Keep pushing for Berlin. Should be in a bit more of an open run now. I mean, the Germans are just losing it. I mean, they still hold a good amount of southern Russia, I believe, but we've just snaked completely through the north here. I guess we're just overwhelming amounts of troops. Fedor von Bock versus Lin Biao. Battle of the century for Berlin. And there goes their last unit. Berlin has been taken. Oh, the Russians stormed it. That's a lie. We all know the real history of the Communist Chinese army making it as the first to Berlin. Definitely a historical game. Okay, this Japanese force down here is really starting to annoy me, the fact they're still here. Maybe we can finally kick them out. Although they keep counterpinning us right at the last second. Very strong at the counterpin at the moment. But there we go, I think they were just too weak. Our troops have sort of trained up a bit from fighting back and forward, although they did just take out a good amount of off. It was that 6 troops they just cut off there. That's not good. But hey, let's keep trying to push in, take some more land. We've got the manpower to replace it, and we've got a lot of guns in stockpile at this point because we've just been building a lot of guns. We haven't really diversified what we've been building. We haven't really needed to if we've been fighting. And obviously by the point that we got into the war against Germany, Germany's equipment I think was just so low from fighting the Allies on one side, the Allies down in Italy, well, so the Allies on 2 sides, and the Russians. I think their equipment was so low that just our little 20 width units could make it in quite well. And there we go, Germany has gone. So what land do we want to take? This counts as German territory, so anywhere else around this region? I don't think so. So let's just take Indochina, and then what do we have? Anything? No. Maybe could take some actual core land, but maybe it's actually best to take a bit of the German Navy. What can we take? The Bismarck, that should be ours. Let's take this Polish screening navy. Montenegro screening navy, all the best of the navies, because it actually might be quite handy for when we now need to fight Japan to have a little bit of a navy, because the Allies should put most of the supremacy, but if I can get a bit fewer of my ships out, I should hopefully be able to defend my naval invasions against the Japanese. I think they'll probably need a little bit of time to repair first. Okay, these aren't core lands, but I mean, we have the manpower to garrison them. We have 15 million men still that aren't doing anything. All our little front lines against all these different little states. Take them away. Lovely. And then we'll just shove them onto here, and hopefully they can come over, sweep up, and just destroy these last few Japanese units in China. I wonder now the Axis have gone if we'll get the peace event if we do crush these guys out. I mean, I'm not holding out much hope, but we'll have to see. Is that Canada with a piece of our land? How dare they? Or is that Russia maybe? I don't know, but they better give it back. Okay, so we've merged up all the fleets. Let's have a look. How's our Iron Curtain looking? Ooh, it's very Ally dominated. I think Yugoslavia is the big chunk missing there from the usual Iron Curtain. Oh, Spain is actually joined the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere, so they are actually against everyone in the world pretty much. So we'll leave the Allies to have a fun time down in Spain, and we're going to look to hopefully try and naval invade. Oh, the US just beating us to it. Are they going to get a port? They did get a port, and they took my port. Okay, can we get mill access? Yes we can, because we're against the same enemies. Okay, let the time play a little bit. There we go, mill access has been accepted. And now we're going to throw in the Chinese army. And we're going to try and just knock out Japan, hopefully. I don't think they have that many units left from all the encirclements we killed back in China. So it should be quite an easy sweep through. And also they might have their forces spread across. They could even have forces all the way down in Spain. those might be the only ones that haven't been killed in the encirclements in China. We might catch a couple. Ah, there we go, there's one. And we'll also grab a bunch to send down to the south towards Nagasaki. And yeah, nice. They should come in from the port and get down there. And you know, we'll send a small contingent just to take this island off of Osaka, Kochi, just to grab as many victory points. Why are they not moving? We'll manually tell them then. Get across that strait before they block it off or stop us. Okay, and you're going to push to Tokyo. The US War Department, well, listen, we've had two bits of fake history there. It was the Communist Chinese in Berlin, it was the Communist Chinese in Tokyo. Mao Zedong will be very happy with those messages. It's going to be the Communist Chinese that capitulated, the two great powers, and really won the Second World War. That's definitely what happened. That is the real history. And there we go, Japan has capitulated. So we'll make sure we take Tibet, and we'll make sure we take all of this lovely Chinese core land, and we'll take the Korean Peninsula, which I think could be counted as core. Okay, nice. It looks like the US is already starting to take the capital. Let's try and puppet them actually, and then we'll try and integrate them. Because I think there was another achievement. There was another achievement for owning all of Japan as China, or starting as one of the warlords. I don't know. It's weird with Communist China. I think sometimes they count as a warlord and sometimes they don't, so we'll just try and grab up as much of the land as possible as puppets. Where are they? Take all. There we go. Select all, take all, select all, take all, select all, take all. Although there might also be the case that I would need the 3 treaty ports in China, if that counts as core Chinese land that I would need, and that could be quite a pain. I think I'm not going to get some of the islands anyway, but we'll try it anyway and see, because they probably go to the US or to the British, so we'll see if the achievement does work that way. But yeah, we're going to move the capital, we're going to put it in Beijing, where it is in modern day. Yeah, Beijing. Lovely. It's a nice city in the game. It's so close to that border though, so you definitely couldn't have had that there when Manchuria is there. And then yeah, we're just going to continue to decrease the autonomy of our nice puppet of Chinese Japan. But yeah, if you've enjoyed seeing the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more. You know, let me know what you think. Any other challenges you want to see me do. Okay, and here we go. We decrease the autonomy. And no, there's no pop-up. But yeah. So that is my Communist China playthrough. I mean, we got a pretty nice faction out of it. But yeah, leave a like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And let me know if you want to see more. Thank you. Bye bye.